Alright, I thought I would do this video impromptu. I saw it several weeks ago and I didn't really think anything of it, but then it kind of got to me. It got to me. Scooby saying that, he's on TRT, but it's not the equivalent of steroids because his body hasn't changed, in essence. Which I'm gonna watch the video again here. I have it plugged in, so I gotta kind of turn this around so I can actually watch it and not have the the recharger come out and the phone die. But none of it seems logical. If you're trying to use external sources of hormones, of testosterone, to get it back up to that of, I'm assuming, someone who's 20 or 25, or is it someone who is 60? The normal range is for 60. I don't know. I might find that out soon if I get my own testing, but it doesn't make sense. And stating that, and I just saw another video where you showed your body 3 years apart for several years since you've been working out for 30 years, and it hasn't changed much, so that's indicative that you have never done gear and that your training intensity is high, your genetics is good compared to someone who left you a message. But none of those things don't sound logical. I'm all for anecdotal evidence and being, a spokesperson for your change, but to take that and generalize it over everyone else doesn't make sense. You put in testosterone, of course you're going to be able to work harder, you're going to recover faster, your mood is going to be better, you're going to get hard-ons like that. This whole male andropause or male menopause, is just an excuse for people to go on it, It's like, and then to say it's not causing anything, it's not doing anything. People with HIV getting prescribed anabolics, and of course it changes their body. You know what I mean? It's like that. Terrible logic. So, let's. I'm gonna watch this video.
No, I've never used steroids. Yes.
Okay, so this is the Scooby is on TRT video, and the first thing he says is, "No, I've never used steroids."
I'm on testosterone replacement therapy.
So testosterone replacement therapy is not steroids in Scooby's eyes. Steroids is a manufactured version of testosterone, so maybe if you're getting to the minutia of what it is, if you're in a court of law, no, I never did steroids. Oh yeah, I'm on testosterone replacement therapy, but that's not steroids.
If you don't understand the difference, please start by watching this video all about TRT. As a matter.
Okay, so he refers to his own video to explain that. Can we say hashtag biased? You're putting exogenous hormones into you. What is that? It's not doing steroids. But you're putting exogenous hormones into you, and it's going to have an effect in one way or another. You know what I mean?
Before you ask any questions on this video, please watch the video all about TRT.
I may have seen maybe 5 videos of Scooby. I remember the time that he had to get off the internet because the Reddits were coming after him because he was out of the closet. They wanted to blast him out of the closet online and bug him. It's like, Queen, stop the victim mentality and stop the whole greater than thou. If you could be more authentic when you're talking, it would sound I would watch more. You know, all I see is like he's inviting people to tell him things that hurt his feelings, and then he comes out raging, you know. But the reality is you're taking exogenous hormones, testosterone to be exact. So it is what it is, and it's going to have the effects, you know. If not slowing down your muscle loss, it will, if you work out progressively enough, get your muscle back. You know what I mean? And possibly more. It's logical. That's just logic. I don't even have to cite studies, or I don't have to cite any of your videos, which I would not use to prove a point for yourself. It's like, you know, that doesn't make sense. It's like I might as well take a study that's funded by pharmaceutical companies. It's the same BS, okay? It's just packaged differently. Like, look at me, I'm a 60-year-old, I look like this, but I'm natural. But you're not natural. You know, it's like playing with words, word salad, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know, in the NPD world, word salad.
I will answer all the questions that you ask on this video. It's one of the advantages of having a smaller channel now. I can answer all your questions personally. But if you ask a question that's answered in that video, I'm going to just post a link to it. Before we get started, we're going to play a little guessing game, and you're going to understand why in about 60 seconds. Here is my physique history in the last 35...
Makes no sense what you're using to support yourself. No sense whatsoever. I don't know.
5 years. When do you think I started using TRT? The reason we're playing this guessing game is a lot of you have the mistaken idea that when a doctor puts you on testosterone replacement therapy, you gain all kinds of muscle. So when do you think I...
No, well, you have to work out. You have to work out, but you're going to have a lot of advantages for when you work out. You'll be able to work out harder. You'll recover faster. And if you progress your workouts properly, you'll gain muscle. There's no decline in muscle gain as you get older. What happens is that, well, there's possibly injuries. I would most likely say there's psychological issues that happen. You know, someone who's 60 versus someone who's 20, it's a different mindset. Someone who's 20 wants it bad. Someone who's 60 is already pessimistic and going through, you know, this whole like, I've been there, done that. I'm retired. You know, I'm shooting a couple of YouTube videos. You know, fuck that. You know, that is a better reason for why your body's not changing, as opposed to that the hormones you're taking is not doing anything muscle-wise.
I started TRT. You can kind of tell here that my peak muscularity was in 2001. So when do you think I started using TRT?
So 20 years ago. So you were 40. Makes sense. Still have a little in you, you know. You probably were not retired by then. You probably still had a gung-ho drive. You know what I mean?
Okay, another hint. In 2016, between these two photos on my physique history, my testosterone level was 119. That's off the chart on the low end. Normal is 250 to 827. I was way below that in 2016. That's not what you were suspecting, was it? You were...
And the question is, why was your testosterone low in 2016? And what made you decide to get it checked? Were you depressed? Were you not getting hard-ons? You know what I mean? just to hop on something because, I mean, it's the same thing for women. I mean, they hop on the estrogen, you know, they don't want to grow a mustache. You can do it, or you could just go through the hot flashes. I mean, what is the driving factor? Let's find out, see if he says it.
I'm going to guess that I started like a couple years before 2001. No, those were natty gains. Huh, I was right. You're a cheater. Let me follow this. So, I started testosterone replacement therapy that my doctor put me on to lose muscle mass.
My doctor put me on it. Your doctor took your hand, twisted behind your back and said, you're going on this TRT. Full stop. Okay, everything so far that's come out of your mouth, Scooby, is you. It's like projection much? It's like you're not taking accountability for the fact that you're taking hormones. And that you wanted to take hormones. You could tell your doctor, fuck off, I don't want to take hormones. But you took them. He didn't twist your back. You know, he didn't say you're going to die if you don't take it. You're not going to die if your testosterone level is low. You obviously managed many years. When did you actually, would you get checked every year? Have you, for the past 30 years, have you gotten it checked? And only in 2016 it started to be low? Is that what the situation is? You're not clear about it. I've never gotten my testosterone checked. I want to though, just to see, you know. Is it a cause of life or death? I don't think so.
And that makes me a cheater. Okay. What point exactly?
Cheater. Who cares anymore? Cheating, whatever. You know what I mean? I take pre-workout. Call me a cheater. I don't care. What does that label do? You know? I mean, you're retired. You're 60. Who cares? You know? It's like you're 6 years old and you're like, no, that's not true. No, it's not true. I'm not. But you are. It's like it's obvious and you're not even lying well. You know what I mean? They do say that older men, they revert to babies again. It's like the second babyhood, the second childhood.
Exactly are you trying to make? Yes, going on testosterone replacement therapy decreases your muscle loss, but still you can tell I have continued to lose muscle since 2001 and continued up to this day.
So are you implying that since 2001 you've been low testosterone? At 40 something? Is that what you're implying? Are you implying that your training has been optimal and progressive since 40? It's... What is it? The causation? It doesn't... You're leaving so many things on the table that aren't being discussed here. You know. You say you were training all these years and you took 1 week off. Maybe, maybe not. Everything is relative. You can rationalize whatever you want for your video. You know what I mean?
So again, please watch the All About TRT.
I'm not watching your videos. I'm not watching your videos. This is already annoying me.
Putting your testosterone levels back into the normal range will only build muscle if you are a complete newbie. If you're someone like me who...
How is that possible? How is that possible when people online are saying when you first go on gear, you get gains? It's like a whole new newbie gains again. Why is it? Because you bring it back up to normal? And so it's as if you were normal all this time, so you're not getting gains? Or, you know, logically, if I think about caffeine, if you stop caffeine for a bit, then your receptors aren't taking it up again, and when you take it again, it has an effect again. You know, I watched Dave Palumbo, and he says, you know, you clean out your system by stop doing it. When you do it again, your receptors are sensitized to it again. So what do you have to say about this? Still, it's not enough information for me to say, yes, Scooby, you're the man. No.
After genetic mass, it just slows the decline. There have been a lot of really high-profile cases.
You know what also slows the decline? Progressive resistance. You know what I mean? It's like you're making it seem like you had to go on TRT. You had to do it. You had to do it. For what reason? You're not making it clear. You know? Is it vanity? You don't want to look like you're getting smaller? Is it ego? You want to seem that you're a genetic freak? Are there other factors? Were you depressed? Is your marriage going badly? Do you want to keep up with your boyfriend's build? What is it?
Of athletes who have used the excuse of they're on TRT for reasons that their testosterone levels were sky high. When you abuse TRT, it's no different than doing steroids. But that is not TRT. That's steroid use. So, should you...
Oh, okay. So me taking pre-workout, it's not caffeine because coffee is caffeine. Pre-workout is caffeine in higher doses. That makes no sense whatsoever.
Do you do TRT? A lot of people in the comment section are going to ask that. TRT is not like a nose job. It's not something you go to the doctor and ask for. If you were to go to the doctor and ask to be put on TRT for muscle gain, they would tell you exactly the same thing as if you went in and asked for steroids. They would give you a stern lecture, spin you around, and kick you out the door.
We know that's BS. We know there are still doctors supplying testosterone. Illegally, mind you, but still, you know. And you're old enough to know if one doctor doesn't do what you want to do, you go to another doctor. There's many doctors. You're in the US, whichever doctor you're allowed to, that your insurance policy allows you, you'll do it until you get what you want. It's about the client. It's not about the doctor. The doctor doesn't dictate you. You dictate yourself. You want this, you go and you find it because there are people doing it. Especially if your testosterone is low. You know what I mean? And you don't have to say it's for muscle gain, but it's kind of obvious looking at you that you're working out for muscle gain. You weren't born that way, you know what I mean? So that's a whole lot of word salad, you know? I haven't seen anything authentic in this video so far.
Fast your head would spin because it's illegal and unethical. They cannot prescribe TRT for muscle gain. That is steroid use. At this point, some...
I'm sure there are some, you take higher dosages and it might produce muscle without you having to work out.
If you were going to tell us about a friend of a friend who went to a longevity clinic to get a prescription for TRT. That's true. These places do exist, but they get shut down really fast. And if the doctors have medical licenses and all, they're going to lose them. This is not legal. They fake the test results to give you the prescription.
So you're painting a picture that you're taking testosterone legally because it was prescribed by a doctor for your low testosterone and it doesn't cause muscle building. You haven't been clear as to the reason why it doesn't cause muscle building, because it's not high enough. It's bringing you back to your normal values, and you're not going to work out anymore, so you're not going to build muscle from that extra testosterone.
expensive and legally dangerous. So, should you use TRT? No, you don't use TRT. Testosterone replacement therapy is something you're put on. It doesn't come out of a TRT bottle. And should you do it? Ask your doctor. No one other than your doctor is qualified to, one, determine if you are low in testosterone, and two, determine if the symptoms you have warrant the risk.
What are your symptoms? Seriously, what are your symptoms? Your body's getting smaller? So you're taking it to get it back up to where it was? Or to keep it at what it is? Be honest, you're going around in circles trying to create like a smoke screen in front of people and say, look, I'm not on it, I'm still natty, I'm still a decent human being. Dude, I don't care who you are in real life, you know what I mean? But this just doesn't make sense what you're saying, you know? And plus the schoolgirl giddiness. You're 60, come on. Usually people when they're 60, they don't give a fuck. Just blurt out everything naturally. Why, you're afraid you're going to do jail time because Bill Cosby's 80 and does jail time? So what? You'll get to work out every day, man, you know? It just seems so unauthentic.
Associated with TRT, which involves medical history and your current health. Only your doctor can make that call. Please, do not use Google to ask if you should do TRT. Would you Google to see if you should have open heart surgery or not?
So what made you go see a doctor? How did you know what you were feeling that was related to low T? Somebody at the gym told you, or Google told you? You've never used Google for any of this? Really? I watch Dave Palumbo all the time. It's YouTube. YouTube's part of Google. It's a search engine. I love it. But I'm not going to a doctor for TRT. You know what I mean? It's just so much of a smokescreen. This whole video is defensive. It's defensive. It's also offensive. I'm cringing, but it's like none of it's talking about himself, how he feels, why he decided to do it. It's just like, I'm on it, but I'm still a good human being. I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. That's all it is. But no authenticity. No vulnerability in his videos. You know? And I find that sad.
I hope not. Why did you take so long to tell us? You deceived us. Interesting question. So, probably 10 times a day, I get people asking, are you on TRT? I kind of crack up because Google has the answer. If you Google, is Scooby on TRT? Page 1, line 1, is a link to my page that tells you everything here. It's not a big secret. When people ask this question on YouTube,
the first thing that comes to my mind is Rich Piana, who didn't keep it secret, all the gear he was doing. However, he didn't tell everything else. You know what I mean? You know, it's you gotta take this with a grain of salt. There's no authenticity in here. You know, it's all about just being one step ahead. One step ahead. Rich Piano was one step ahead because he was telling about his gear, but he didn't tell about anything else. And so it's not authentic. It's just doing the minimal, which I don't have anything to say about that. You know, I do have something to say about Scooby. You know, misconstruing everything, putting a smoke screen remember, all you give workouts free. You believe that people shouldn't pay for workouts. Everything you offer is free. I haven't been on your websites or anything, but I'm wondering, are you getting ad revenue from this? Is there a reason? You know what I mean? It's like celebrities who, you know, give to charities, but they're getting a cutback. It's a tax write-off. You know what I mean? It's just worded differently. There's nothing altruistic about this. There's nothing authentic about this. That's my whole point. And asking and point out, it's like asking a lawyer in court if they remember this. Lawyers, sometimes they don't put information to their head, so when they're being questioning or being questioned, that they don't remember it. It's just, you know, it's more of a psychological ploy than anything. So everything has to be taken with a grain of salt. And with this, like a whole bag of salt.
The main problem is they have no idea what TRT is, what it's for, what it does. I've been around.
What is it for and what does it do? You haven't said anything about that. Tell me. I don't know. There's something you know that I don't know. I know the basics. You know, I know about the male menopause, you know. I know about the depression and the lack of hard-ons, lack of sex drive. Please inform me what there is. I mean, this whole mess, and I'm not going to your video. Please inform me why you're doing it in this video.
Since the sunrise of the internet. So let me tell you exactly what's going to happen here. When bodybuilding.com, Reddit, or Natty or not get a hold of this, there's going to be all...
That's like saying, oh, when the National Enquirer comes see me, they're going to have a... Oh, I don't like all this attention. I don't like it. Queen. My queen.
All kinds of posts that say, I knew it, Scooby is a cheat and a liar. He got his physique from TRT. I can't...
It is partially true. The only thing you've stated in this is that the TRT is going to prevent your body from wasting. So, if you weren't on it, your body would waste and you would be smaller and less muscly, right? So going on it keeps it the way it is. So logically, what you're saying is, it is keeping your body. So your body is due to that at this point in time. Does that make sense to you, Scooby? Speaking of word salad and, you know, equating words together, putting them in proper order and seeing the logic of how a string of words have a certain meaning.
Force these people to use the space between the ears. Despite me laying this out very carefully and concisely, all these people are going to see...
Using the space between your ears. Meanwhile, you are talking like this. It's as if you're thinking of each word before you say it. I am thinking of each word before I say it. And I am speaking at the same pace at which I am thinking. Hashtag projection. Hashtag annoyed.
Scooby does TRT. I feel really sorry for these people who are so lazy, undisciplined, and entitled.
That's a projection. That's a definite projection. Why? Because you feel me.